grade 10s, and welcome to my channel, The Opinionated Science Educator. This is the second part of the video related to the maths problem that Calvin had with Mr. Jones, who lived 50 miles from him, traveling towards him at different speeds. And in the last video, we looked at how long does it take for the two trucks to pass. Now we will look at how far each truck has traveled by the time they meet. Now, in the previous video, I used the stop animation to help you visualize the problem. So the time when the trucks met each other has to be the same. But now we want to look at how far each truck has traveled, and that cannot be the same because they're traveling at different speeds. Okay, let's solve part B now. Part B asks how far is each truck from their destination city. So we are looking at how far. Remember, please, that how far is a distance measurement. So how far is truck A from Tshwane? So using the general speed or velocity equation, V is equal to delta X over delta T, X being the distance. Please note that here I'm using the subscript A so that when I come back to this problem, I know that I'm dealing with truck A. So truck A travels at a speed of 100 kilometers, and the time which we calculated in part A is 0.3136 hours. So I substitute those values in. I rearrange my formula because I want to find the distance traveled, put that into my calculator, and I get that the distance traveled by truck A is 31.36 kilometers from Tshwane. But the problem asks for the distance that each truck has traveled from its starting point, so you also need to calculate the distance traveled by truck B from Tshwane. Now, there are two ways to do this, so I will show you both ways. Okay. So again, how far, just to remind you how far is a distance measurement, and using the same formula, but this time I'm putting in values for truck B. So I put in the speed, 120 kilometers per hour for truck B. The time is the same time because they can only cross each other at the same point in time, as I showed you in the jumping animation. Two stick figures who were jumping. The one was jumping faster than the other. When they met, if you looked at the digital clock countdown, that time was time 0. So the time for them to reach the same point is equal from either end. So they meet at the same point in time. Okay, so rearranging that formula, I then find that the distance is 37.64 kilometers. Now, at this point, I think it's important to remind you, you should be checking your answer. My two answers here should add up to 69 kilometers. I can see just by rounding off that 0.36 and 0.64 is 1, and 7 plus 1 plus 1 is 9. And then 3 plus 3 is 60, so 69 kilometers. So if you're not as confident with your mathematical ability, use the calculator. 31.36 plus 37.64 is equal to 69. So there you go. You can see the answer. I've added the two together. 31.36 plus 37.64 equals 69 kilometers. So that answer is correct. Now, of course, there is a shorter way to do this. If we know that the total distance is 69 kilometers, then the distance traveled by truck A and truck B should add up to 69 kilometers. Okay, so let's check. 69, there we go. Total distance, what I've calculated for truck A, 31.36. To find the distance for truck B, so I subtract 31.36 from 69 And there is my answer, 37.64. And as you can see, both of those answers are the same. So there we go. You've solved a problem that seemed quite challenging. And if you apply the basic principles such as understanding that you need to look at the rates of changing distance. In 1 hour, truck A travels 100 kilometers, truck B travels 120 kilometers. That's the total distance. How far the cities apart will give you the time that they would have traveled, leaving at exactly the same time. When they meet each other, that will give you the time. Then you apply your physics equation, and then we use the total distance. So this problem, not difficult to solve if you put on your thinking caps and you work through it step by step.
When you get problems like this, you might be just like Kelvin, but you can find the answer to this type of question. So grade 10s, I hope that support video was helpful, and that in future, if you get problems like this, you'll know how to tackle them. Oh, and remember, always include units. So until next time, this is the Opinionated Science Educator saying goodbye.